Alright, in this video we are going to show how can we change the angle of inclination of a linear graph in DESMOS. So for example, if I have a linear graph y equals mx plus mx, okay, so for this one it passes through origin, so that's why the c value is 0. And there's a theta between the line and also the x-axis, and we call this as the angle of inclination. Of the linear graph, right? And we all understand the relationship between the gradient, I mean the slope and the theta, because we understand that. What do we mean by slope? Okay, slope actually means, which is m, rise over run, okay? But what do we mean by rise? So given 2 points, all right, and this is a rise, this is a run, and that's your angle of theta. And from another perspective, that rise can also be called as opposite side, and that run can also be called as adjacent side. So that means rise over run can also mean opposite side over adjacent. So that means it's tan theta. So that's why we should know slope can actually be represented by tan theta, with theta equal the angle of inclination of the line. Right? The problem is, if we want to show it in DESMOS with a range of angle, like the range of angles from 0 to 45, how can we see the variation of the linear graph with theta changing? So you want to control the value of theta, and you can see the change of the gradient in the straight line. Okay, so we can do it in DESMOS very conveniently. So first of all, let's see. We want to define the angle. All right, so let's define the angle. So I'm sorry, it's want to add code notes. So this is the angle. So in DESMOS, if you want to use theta, it can't be recognized. So I'd rather use Q as the angle of inclination. So angle of inclination actually equals Q. All right. And you want to define range for Q. Okay. So you say Q start from 0. Right. Then you are going to define range for the Q. You say it's 0 to 45. Right. And step each time you want to change it by 1 degree, let's say. But one thing you need to remember, in DESMOS, the default setting for angle is in radian. You see that? It's radian. So you should click degree to change the units for the angle. So right now, you can change your angle of inclination from 0 to 45. All right. So how can we use that in our straight line? So a straight line is y equals mx in my example, right? So let's try to link up the m, the value of m, with the angle q here. So let's say m equals, right? So you need to get 10. Okay, so from 10 q. So right now you will get um, m value, which is corresponding to different value of q. So when you change your q value, you can see the m is changing as well. So when q is 45, actually the slope is 1. Got all the value here. All right. So right now you can sketch the line. You can use y equals mx if you want. All right. So right now y equals mx, or sometimes you can use a function. Let's say fx equals mx, still the same. So when you change your value of angle, which should be theta, but in DESMOS we have to use q. So when you change it, so you can see the straight line is also changing. Right? That's not very difficult to understand. Okay, so that's it. So I hope that helped you to learn how can you use an angle of inclination to draw a line in a DESMOS. Okay. Thanks for watching. See you next time.